I've never lost a duel to the death. Not even one. Jim Butcher, who clearly never played Hellish Quart. Because Hellish Quart, it is to the death. Most of the time. You may lose your wrist. You may lose your shoulder. And you most likely will lose your sword as well. But man, is it a hell of a good time. And you can have a quart of beer after and laugh it off. Even though I don't think any of these guys in the video game are friends. You might invite your friends around, yeah, and have a great time playing Hellish Quart. So it's a 17th century fighting game. I could call it a fencing game. A lot of people describe this game as like a HEMA produced. I'm not sure exactly what HEMA produced, but I think it's like the Association for Fencing. So it just really feels like a quick duel simulator. And the funny part is the videos I saw on Steam make it seem like like super fast, match done. But I don't know if it's like something's happened with the game since then, because even when I lowered all the settings down to like low, the matches aren't like super quick matches like the videos I saw, which, you know, is okay for me, but it's sort of like Jello. And I noticed like someone commented this as well, because I was like, is this only something I'm experiencing? But no, like the characters sort of swing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna fence you, and then it's not fast like the videos. So I don't know if the videos were sped up on their page, but like it's a very strategic game. You know, one stab, like not always, but like one solid stab and you're gonna lose the point, and there's 3 points to the round, and it's very easy to get stabbed if you're not careful. It's a lot of like, it's kind of like politics. You let the other person make a mistake first. So anyways, moving on. The game is fun with very fluid animation, so don't get me wrong with the swinging. I just, even if putting the settings down, because I was trying to run it in 4K, it's still sluggish. The movement's like Jello in moving in the air. It's very funky. Even though the moves are apparently all motion captured, which is super hella impressive to me. There's many different fighting styles. That's the coolest thing. Like all of the clothes in this game, all of like the facial, like just all the character designs. That's what I'm getting at. Like all of like the beards and everything. All of this is authentic, which is super impressive. Like if you're going into this game expecting like Tekken 7, you probably won't be blown away. But if you're going into this game expecting historical accuracy, like there's even history tips given. There's a mode, like a history mode, where you learn bits of history as you play, which I'd love to see that expanded on, because this game is only in early access. So obviously it's going to get more patches. I think it just got an update from the developer, which is great. So you can also choose from like blunt swords to very sharp swords. So that customization is awesome. You can choose from wooden swords and real swords, like metallic swords, as we know. The sound effects are very nice and satisfying as well. Like very well done. I was impressed. You know, the slices upon impact on skin or on wood, the wood hitting the person, just really well done. Just the music, and that's the thing, the music, I don't know if it is accurate, but considering everything else in this game seems to be historically accurate, the music, the few tracks I've heard, I think 3 and there's 8 or something, they fit the 17th century setting. It's like some sort of interesting chant. I'd love to know more about that. Right now there's 8 characters and 11 stages. The stages look pretty good. There's one like joke stage, a basketball stage, modern basketball gym stage. But all the other characters, there's a few that they haven't quite worked on yet that aren't available. I think there's one that you can unlock of the 8, and then I think I saw 2 or 3 other ones. So there's room to be for these extra characters. The stages themselves, there's some in fields, there's some in snow, there's like in camps inside a cabin. There's a lot in the middle of like some sort of hanging, like with dead people just hanging. It's just so well implemented and researched. But yes, as I said, like after you've been playing for a while, it's very clear that 1 or 2 hits will end the match. If you stab someone slightly, it doesn't necessarily end the match. I'm not sure why. Obviously, if you slice someone in the head, they clutch their head and drop. Well, they may not drop their sword. They should, maybe sometimes. And as I was just so blown away, the fact that you can slice people's wrists off. It's just, it's shocking. It's like an Empire Strikes Back moment. So this game, apparently, I didn't play it long enough, but it really punishes button mashers, and I can sort of see why, because you have to calculate the moves that you want to do. You have to, it values precision over like Soul Calibur button mashing, where you can get away with button mashing for a while in Soul Calibur, but in this you really can't. So there's no story mode. There's a sample cutscene, but it shows a lot of promise in the future when the story mode becomes available. There's a player versus player versus CPU mode, and in early access, and there's a historical mode. I think that's mainly it. The side-to-side moving is tricky right now. That's my biggest complaint, but that's usually the case, and this is sort of like the Toshinden type of 3D environments, so that usually is the case. Right now, it just mostly lacks depth and content. Like, what's there shows tremendous amount of promise. I can't praise it enough. There's also significant performance issues, which makes no sense. One guy had like a 1080 Ti, I think, or 1650 Ti, and like it was sluggish on his setup. So that's how I know it's not my setup, because like I've got a 9900 with 32 gigabytes of RAM and a 380 for the win for clock, so I know it's the game. I don't know why it's the game, but I assume it's just not optimized since it's still in early access. I feel like it needs more details in the stages. It's cool to say, look, there's no chickens, there's no like tables or anything that sort of, you know, even an optional toggleable option for that would be great, just to make it so that it seems like a bit more fitting to the setting. It only costs $19.49 right now, and I say only because you can see where they're trying to go with this. And that feels like fair, considering the amount of money that must have gone into motion capturing. I heard it was a Witcher 3 guy who does the motion cap for Witcher 3. I don't know if that's true, but just considering the settings, the music, and all the heavy detail that goes into this, $20 seems like a great price. It's a lot of love by the developer in this. It needs more work, but like this is a 17th century Deadliest Warrior essentially. I'd say it's a solid 9 out of 10. I don't usually give 9 out of 10s, but it's just, it's impressive, and I don't think many people know about this, except for like the people that research games coming out. There aren't many games that are trying to make battles authentic and sort of like a historical battle like this. The only one I can think of is For Honor, and I don't, from the bit I've played, it doesn't seem super accurate. It's more of like an action brawler. So I would say hit back, get a quart of your favorite beverage, and unleash hell, because this is a 9 out of 10 and you should try it and check it out. So keep on unleashing hell and have a quart on me. See ya.